Hello students, in this video we are going to start a new chapter of class 7th grammar. The name of the chapter is verb and this is chapter number 6 of your grammar book, right? So let's understand first what a verb is. A verb is a word that is used to indicate the action of the subject or what is possessed by the subject. Now we have to understand these words here. The action of the subject. Action is what? Whatever we used to do, like we eat, we sing, we dance, we study, we sleep. All those things are what? All those things are what? Actions. Okay. So what we have to notice that the action done by the subject. Okay. One thing is this. And the second thing is this. It is what is possessed by the subject. Possessed means the ownership. Okay, so it may be the being of something, it may be the statement for something that that is called verb, right? One more thing I want to tell you through the example, that it is not necessary that the main verbs, because this verb is divided into many parts. So let's understand. Example is, she reads a book. Okay, in this sentence she reads a book. So what is verb here? Which word is verb? She is what? She is subject, right? And reads it what is what? Reads is verb. And then a book is what? It is object. This I have told you many times, right? That what is subject, what is verb and what is object. Now reads is a verb, that's okay. Now I am writing one more sentence here, and that sentence is she has a book. She has a book. Now you will say here it is she is subject, a book is object. But this, you will say that this sentence is not having any verb. But if you will say so, if you will think so, so you are wrong, right? It is not needed always that the verb should be only the main verb. It should be like read, eat, play, dance type of verbs. Okay, that may be the verbs of possessions also. So this has, have, had. These are the words of possession which are telling the ownership of someone. Like she has a book. So has is verb here. So one thing you have to keep in mind, when there is no verb, no main verb in the sentence, the helping verb acts as a verb there. Okay, that is very important point. So she reads a book. This is what? This is reads is verb here. She has a book. This is has is verb here, and this whatever I have written here in definition, what is possessed by the subject. So what is possessed by the subject? This word, this has is indicating here that she, who is subject, she has a book. Clear? So this thing you have to keep in mind. When there is no main verb in the sentence, the main verb acts as a verb there. Okay, so this is first thing. Now the next thing which we have to read in this chapter is what is transitive verb and which is intransitive verb. So let's see that what is transitive verb. So transitive verb, a verb that needs an object. So here we have to keep this in mind. A verb that needs an object to complete its meaning is called a transitive verb, right? So how you will say, how you will find out that the verb given in the sentence is transitive or it is intransitive, right? So what is needed for that? The very important role is played by what? Object, to get this what is transitive verb and what is intransitive verb. See how. She writes a letter. So she is what here? Subject. And I have told you in the last videos also, when we were doing that active and passive voice, there also I have told you object. What is the position of the object? Position of the object is just after the verb, and these objects are of two types. Let me revise. Objects are of two types. Number one is direct object and number two is indirect object, right? So direct objects are the things here. What is that? The things are direct objects and indirect objects are the person. So it is not necessary that both the objects are required in a sentence. It is not needed, right? That it may be one may be there, two may be, both may be there, but every time it is not required object also, because subject and verb also can frame a sentence. But when we are talking about the transitive verb, in that case what we have to see, that the object should be there, whether it is direct, whether it is indirect, or it may be both may be there. Clear? So here she is verb, writes is she is subject, writes is verb. Here a letter is what? A letter is object, because it is just after the verb. Clear? Now this is object, so this verb becomes a transitive verb. It is not object becomes transitive, but what? The verb becomes transitive verb. So this is transitive verb, you can write down in short. So this becomes transitive verb if the object is there. Second thing is, they bought a new car. They is subject, bought is verb, and a new car. Okay, a new car is a thing. So this is direct object here. What is this? This verb becomes transitive here once again. Clear? Next is, Vishal has cleaned the room. Now Vishal is subject, has cleaned is verb, right? Because one is helping verb, one is main verb. And what is the object here? Object is the room. So has cleaned become a verb here. Has cleaned is verb, and that's why it is what? Transitive verb, because after that there is object. Okay, so this is how you have to identify the transitive verbs and the intransitive verbs. Once again I am repeating, if the object is there just after the verb, the sentence will be transitive. I will tell you one more method to get this transitive and intransitive verb. So if we are able to, just now in our last videos we have completed active and passive voice. So if we are able to change the sentence into passive voice, clear, that sentence, that verb in the sentence would be transitive verb. Okay, and if we are not able to change the sentence from active to passive form, so that would be intransitive form. So that is another way you can find out, like this also. Okay, now if we will talk about intransitive verb. So what is intransitive verb? A verb that does not need an object. So what we have to highlight here, that a verb that does not need an object, so that is called intransitive verb. To complete its meaning is called intransitive verb. See the examples here. The girl smiled, right? So the girl is what here? The girl is subject. Now smiled is what? Smiled is verb, right? The girl smiled. Smiled is verb. But after that there is no object. Clear? So object must be what? A person or an thing. Clear? Okay, so that you have to keep, that is very important, that a person or object may be object. Okay, will be object, so that is sure. So a girl smiled, because this sentence does not have an object, so this will work as, this smiled will work as an intransitive verb. Intransitive verb. The machine is not working. Now the subject is what? The machine is not working. Is verb here. Clear? And not working is what? Is not an object, right? So this sentence is not, you may say this complete is verb, this is helping verb, or this is main verb, right? But this is not having any object after that, and moreover we cannot change the passive voice of this sentence. The machine is not working, right? So this is not having any object here. So this verb also becomes intransitive verb. She writes neatly. She writes neatly. So she is what here? Subject, and writes is what? Verb, and neatly is what? This is not object. So this writes become becomes here intransitive verb, because here also we cannot change the passive voice of this, and moreover this neatly is not an object. Okay, so please keep this in mind. When the verb is having just after the verb, if there is an object, so that become transitive verb, and if the subject, the verb is does not have the object after that, so that becomes intransitive verbs. So this is all about the verb and the transitive and intransitive verbs. Okay, next see what we have to do, the exercise part of your page number 49. So let's see exercise A, B and C today in this video, and the rest. Now let's see the exercise of your book, lesson number 6, verbs, page number 48 of your Cordova Learning Series Grammar. Now we have to do exercise number A on page number 49. This is page number 49 of your book, right? And exercise A is given here. Let's see what the exercise A says. Read the following sentences, underline the transitive verbs and circle the direct and indirect objects. So the sentence is, Nalin paid some money to the news vendors. Here no need to write down which is indirect. Here it's a you have to write down which is direct object and which is indirect object also, because they have given only one direction, that you have to circle the direct and indirect objects. Clear? And you have to underline the transitive verb also. So Nalin paid some money. Paid is what here? Paid is verb. So we have underlined it. Some money is what? It's a thing or person? It's a thing. So this is what? Direct object. And to the newspaper vendor, who got the money? The person is newspaper vendor. So that is indirect object here. Clear? So this is indirect object here. Keep on writing on your book. This is indirect object and this is direct object and this is verb. Okay. I wrote a letter to my mother. So wrote is what here? Wrote is verb. A letter is a thing. So this is what? Direct object. And who got the letter? Who receives the letter? Mother. So indirect object is who? Mother. She cleaned the house. Cleaned is what? Verb here. The house only is given, right? So this is what? It's a thing. It's direct object and cleaned is verb. He whitewashed the house today. Whitewashed is what? Whitewashed is verb. The house is what? Direct object. The teacher organized an excursion trip for students. So organized is what? Verb. An excursion trip is what? Direct object. And for whom he organized? For the students. So this is indirect object. Persons are the students here. Rabindranath Tagore wrote many stories. So Rabindranath Tagore is subject. After that verb is wrote. Now what he wrote? Many stories. So this is what? Direct object. And indirect object is not given here because indirect objects are the persons. And you may remind this another way. These indirect objects are the receivers of these things also. Who is getting the things, who is receiving the things, they may be, they are indirect objects. In your senior classes you will study this, okay, but here you have to remind us only that persons are indirect objects and the things are direct objects. Okay, let's see next exercise number 2, exercise number B. So what the exercise says, underline the verb in the sentence and state whether the verb is transitive or intransitive. The sentence is, the police caught the thieves. So what is the criteria here? What is transitive? After that there should be object. The police caught the thief. Caught is verb, after that the thieves, and thieves are the persons, right? Persons and things are the objects only. Please keep this in mind. So the thieves is there and this is object. So it is intransitive verb. The machine is not working. The machine is not working. Is not working is a verb and this is intransitive verb. The old lady helped the little boy. Helped is what? Verb here. And whom he helped? The little boy. So this is object, the little boy. So the verb is transitive. My aunt served tea to the guests. Served is verb, and what she served? Tea, and both of the objects are here, direct also and indirect also. Direct is tea, and for whom she prepared, she served the tea for the guest. So this guest is what? Transitive verb. My cousin narrated a story. Cousin is subject, my cousin, complete is subject, narrated is verb, and a story is object, that is a thing, direct object. Okay, so here you have to write down only transitive verb. So that's what is given in exercise number B. Now come to exercise number C. This is exercise number C towards the end of page number 49. Complete the given sentences with appropriate complement of the verbs given in the box. Now what does this complement stand for? Let's see. See the example. The sun shone brightly. So verb is shone, and brightly is what? Complement. The day was windy. Okay, this is verb, and windy is what? Complement. Now see, the words brightly and windy are required to complete the meaning of the verbs shone and was. So such a word or group of words is called complement of a verb. These must be, in many cases, these must be adverbs or adjectives. Okay, so this brightly is what? Adverb here. Windy is what? Windy is what? Windy is adjective. So this must be, you have to keep in mind, they may be adjectives and adverbs. Okay, but object is what? Object is a person or a thing. So complete the given sentences with the appropriate complement of the verbs given in the boxes. First is interesting but unpredictable. Second is lush green. Third is roasted well. Fourth is a brave boy. Next is sick. Slowly against the direction of the wind. Calm and composed, a dynamic leader. Furiously and rough. So these you have to fill in your exercise number C, which is given on page number 50. He was a dynamic leader. Okay, so that's a complete sentence. Complement is this, a dynamic leader. The ship sailed slowly against the direction of the winds. These are the complements which are given on the last page in the blue box, and I have taken these complements from there. So the ship sailed slowly against the direction of the wind. The peanuts were roasted well. The plants were lush green. The domestic help is sick. What is this domestic help? Domestic help is servants. Okay, so servant is sick, means the domestic help is sick. The match was interesting but unpredictable. The sea was rough. Rohan was a brave boy. Rashi was relaxed, calm and composed. The sea ragged furiously. So that's what we have to complete in this video. In our next video, we will start this main principles of principal verbs. Okay, so in this we will read something more about the verbs. Clear? Till then, please complete exercises of your page number 49 and 50 and try to understand what is verb, what is transitive verb and what is intransitive verb, with which you have to also learn that how to get an object of a verb. An object may be of two types, direct objects and indirect objects. Thank you very much. Have a good day.